Forbes
dare you bring me
notification
these
lit up my
expenses?
phone at exactly
$1 million? Are you
9:47 a.m.
insane?
Congratulations, you've
Just
been
can't
named
do
to our
this.
30 under 30 list in healthcare. I should have felt something. Pride, maybe. Validation. Instead, I just stared at the words until they blurred. My assistant knocked. Dr. Martinez, the photographer is here for your feature shoot. Give me 5 minutes. I set the phone face down on my desk, but it buzzed again immediately. A text from an unknown number, then another, and another. By the time I picked it up, there were 12 messages, all containing the same image. My mother and Bella, my younger sister, holding the Forbes magazine between them like a trophy they'd won. The caption read, "We always knew you'd make us proud." My stomach turned. We, as if they'd been there. As if they'd done anything but cut me loose at 18 and forget I existed. I deleted the messages without responding. 4 years of silence, and now that my name was in a magazine, they wanted back in. The nausea rose sharp and bitter. I barely made it to the bathroom before I threw up. 15 years earlier, 2008. Gabriella, stop hogging the bathroom! I was 10 years old, brushing my teeth before school, when Bella's fist pounded on the door. My little sister was 7, all wide brown eyes and bouncing curls that my mother spent an hour arranging every morning. Just a minute. Mom! Gabby won't let me in. I opened the door. Bella pushed past me, already in her ballet outfit. Pink leotard, matching tights, hair pulled back so tight it looked painful. My mother followed, makeup bag in hand. Gabriella, you know your sister has ballet before school. I was just brushing my teeth. Well, you're done now. Go get dressed. She didn't look at me, already focused on touching up Bella's hair. I grabbed my backpack from my room, plain blue, 2 years old, a hand-me-down from a cousin. Bella's backpack was new, covered in sparkles, with her name embroidered in cursive. Everything Bella owned sparkled. At breakfast, Dad sat behind his newspaper. He was always behind something, a newspaper, his laptop, a work manual. Roberto Martinez, structural engineer, emotionally absent father. Dad, I got my science fair results yesterday. I won first place, regional level. That's good, mija. He turned the page. Bella pirouetted into the kitchen. My mother clapped. Beautiful, baby. Show Daddy. The newspaper lowered immediately. Dad pulled out his phone. Do it again. I want to record this. I looked down at my cereal, watching the flakes go soggy. That was the pattern. That was always the pattern. My mother, Rosa Martinez, had been a nurse once. She never let us forget it. I gave up everything for you girls, she'd say, usually when she was tired, usually when she was looking at Bella with that soft expression she never wore for me. I didn't learn until much later that everything meant something specific. Rosa had been in nursing school, top of her class, when she got pregnant with me at 24. Her family was traditional. You don't have a baby out of wedlock. You don't get an abortion. You get married, and you make it work. So she married my dad, dropped out, and had me. 3 years later, she got pregnant again. Bella was born at 32 weeks, barely 4 pounds, and spent the first month of her life in the NICU. The doctors said it was touch and go. Rosa made a promise. If Bella survived, she'd give her everything. Bella survived. Rosa kept her promise. And somehow, in the arithmetic of my mother's love, giving everything to one daughter meant giving nothing to the other. Age 16, 2014. Bella's 16th birthday was a production. Catered lunch at the house, 30 of her closest friends, a cake shaped like a ballet slipper. The grand finale came after the candles. Dad led Bella outside where a silver Honda Civic sat in the driveway, red bow on the hood. Bella screamed. Actually screamed, hands over her mouth, jumping up and down. Our relatives cheered. Someone took a video. Mom cried happy tears. "You've worked so hard, baby girl," she said, hugging Bella tight. "You deserve this." 2 months later, it was my 18th birthday. We had dinner at home. Just family, no friends invited. After cake, Mom handed me an envelope. Inside, Bella's old bus pass and $50. "We figured you could use this," she said. "The bus pass is still good for another 6 months." I looked at Dad. He was already clearing dishes, back turned. "Thanks," I managed. That night, I counted my savings from my library job. $432. I found a used bike on Craigslist for $60 and rode it home in the dark, the frame wobbling, gears grinding. It took me 45 minutes to get home. My legs burned. My eyes burned more, but I didn't cry. I'd learned by then that crying didn't change anything. Age 18, college decision day. I rehearsed it for 2 weeks, practiced in the mirror, wrote notes on index cards, timed myself. I needed exactly the right words, confident but not demanding, grateful but clear about the gap. Sunday dinner seemed like the safest time. Dad was usually relaxed after his weekend round of golf. Mom would be in a good mood from church. Bella would be distracted by her phone. I waited until everyone had finished eating, until the dishes were cleared, until Dad settled into his recliner with the newspaper. "Dad? Mom? I need to talk about college." "You already got into Berkeley," Mom said, not looking up from loading the dishwasher. "With a scholarship. We've been over this." "I did. A full academic scholarship. But it doesn't cover room and board. I'd need about $8,000 a year." $8,000. Dad's newspaper lowered. "Every year?" "I can work part-time, but freshmen aren't allowed more than 15 hours a week, and even minimum wage won't." Mom shut the dishwasher with more force than necessary. "Gabriella, you're 18 years old. Bella is 15, getting ready for high school. She needs money for private dance lessons, SAT prep, college counseling. But I got into Berkeley with scholarships," Dad said firmly. "You can manage. That's what scholarships are for." "But the scholarship doesn't—" "You're an adult now." His voice was final. "You'll figure it out. We can't keep supporting you forever." The words landed like stones. "You're on your own financially." Across the room, Bella scrolled through Instagram, not even listening. That night, I filled out student loan applications at my desk, the lamp casting long shadows. Bella slept soundly across the hall. I could hear her breathing, peaceful and even, the sound of someone who'd never had to worry about money or love or being enough. Damn. 1 week later, the text came through the family group chat, the one I'd muted months ago but never left. New video from Mom. My thumb hovered over the notification. I shouldn't look. Nothing good ever came from that chat. But something, masochism maybe, or hope I couldn't quite kill, made me open it. The video started with my mother's voice, high and excited. "Okay, baby girl, close your eyes." The camera bounced as someone walked. My father's hand appeared in the frame, leading Bella forward. They were standing in front of an apartment building I didn't recognize. "Okay, open." Bella's hands dropped from her face. She stared at the building, confused. Wait. What?" Mom stepped into frame, dangling a set of keys. "Surprise, mija? Welcome home." The camera followed as they walked into a condo. 2 bedrooms, modern kitchen with granite counters, a balcony overlooking a lake that reflected the sunset like molten gold. Through the window, I could see the Berkeley campus in the distance. "Oh my God," Bella breathed. Is this mine?" "Every real estate agent needs to understand property value," Dad said, his voice warmer than I'd heard in years. "This is your training ground. You'll live here when you start community college, learn the business, then transfer to a university. Meanwhile, you'll understand what it means to own property." Bella burst into tears, happy tears. "I can't believe this. Thank you. Thank you." Mom pulled her into a hug. "You're our baby girl. We want to make sure you have everything you need. No daughter of mine is going to struggle." The video ended. I sat frozen, phone screen going dark in my hands. They'd bought her a condo, a 2-bedroom condo with a lake view, 20 minutes from Berkeley. She was 15 years old. 1 week ago, they'd told me they couldn't help with $8,000 for housing. They just spent what? $400,000, $500,000 on a condo for Bella to learn the business. My hands weren't shaking. That surprised me. I thought they should be shaking. Instead, I felt eerily calm, like I was watching myself from a distance. I typed out a response. "Congratulations, Bella." Then I blocked the group chat. I pulled up my loan applications and filled them out, line by line, until my vision blurred and I couldn't tell if it was from the screen glare or unshed tears. In the end, I borrowed $63,000 to get through 4 years at Berkeley. They spent 10 times that on a condo they bought for Bella on a whim. I want to tell you I stopped caring after that I built a wall so high nothing could hurt me anymore. That would be a lie. The truth is messier. The truth is that for years afterward, every time I saw a red bow, on a gift, on a car, in a commercial, my chest tightened. The truth is that I still checked the family group chat sometimes, even though I'd muted it, just to see the photos I wasn't in. Bella's quinceañera, Bella's first real estate sale, Bella's new Mercedes. My name was never mentioned. Not when I made Dean's List, not when I published my first research paper, not when Stanford offered me a fully funded PhD position. I told myself I was over it, that I'd moved on, that I'd built a new life where I didn't need them. But late at night, when I couldn't sleep, I'd wonder, what was wrong with me? What had I done, even as a child, to deserve being invisible? I never found an answer. Maybe there wasn't one. The basement apartment in Berkeley smelled like mildew and instant noodles. $600 a month for a shared room with paper-thin walls and pipes that groaned all night. My roommate was a grad student I never saw. She worked nights at a hospital and slept during the day. We communicated through Post-it notes on the bathroom mirror. Rent due Friday, Sarah paid G. That first year, I worked 2 jobs. Lab assistant 15 hours a week. Campus library another 20. Between classes, work, and study, I averaged 4 hours of sleep. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself it was character building. I told myself a lot of lies that year. Thanksgiving, everyone went home. The dorms emptied out. The campus went quiet. And I stayed in the lab running experiments that didn't need to be run. Dr. Harrison found me there at 7 p.m., still in my goggles, pipetting samples that could have waited until Monday. "Miss Martinez, don't you have somewhere to be?" "I'm good here, Dr. Harrison. Family's far away." He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. "Well, don't stay too late. Building locks at midnight." I stayed until 11:45. When I finally got back to my apartment, my phone showed 3 missed calls from my mother's number. No voicemail. I didn't call back. Sophomore year, fall 2016, Dr. Remedios Villarreal found me crying in the supply closet. I wasn't supposed to be crying. I was supposed to be strong, independent, the girl who didn't need anyone. But I just contaminated an experiment worth $10,000, knocked over a beaker like a clumsy child, watched 3 months of work literally go down the drain. "I'm sorry," I gasped when she opened the door. "I'm so sorry. I'll fix it. I'll redo everything. I'll..." "Breathe, mija." She stepped inside and closed the door behind her. "Just breathe first." Dr. Remy was in her early 40s, sharp-eyed and sharp-tongued, with gray streaking her black hair and reading glasses perpetually perched on her head. She had a reputation. Brilliant, demanding, and she didn't suffer fools. "I ruined everything," I managed. "The whole experiment, 3 months of data, is backed up digitally, yes? The samples can be recreated." She leaned against the shelf, arms crossed. "What can't be recreated is you. And if you have a breakdown, that's what we lose." I wiped my eyes, mortified. "I don't have breakdowns." "Everyone has breakdowns. The question is whether you learn from them." She studied me. "How much sleep did you get last night?" 4 hours, maybe? "And the night before?" 3. "And you're working how many jobs?" I didn't answer. Dr. Remy sighed. "Let me guess. You think if you work hard enough, if you're perfect enough, everything will be okay. That success will fill whatever hole you're trying to fill." The words hit too close. "I just need to focus more. You need to sleep more, eat more, be human more." She opened the door. "Come to my office tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. I have a proposal for you. The proposal was a research assistantship, paid position, flexible hours, working directly with Dr. Remy on her gene therapy project. Why me? I asked. My GPA is only 3.9. There are students with perfect. I don't need perfect. I need meticulous. You don't just follow instructions, Gabriella. You think, you question, you care. She poured coffee from a pot that looked like it had been there since the 90s. That's worth more than a 4.0. No one had ever said that to me before. I took the job, quit the library, started sleeping 6 hours a night instead of 4. Dr. Remy taught me that mistakes were data, that questions were valuable, that science was about curiosity, not punishment. For the first time since I was 10 years old, someone saw me, really saw me. I called her Dr. Remy. She called me Mija. It wasn't quite mother and daughter, but it was close enough to hurt in a way that also healed. Junior year, spring 2018, Vanessa Ortega crashed into my life during a contamination scare in the lab. Is that yours? She pointed at a petri dish I'd left too close to the edge of the counter. Oh, shit. I lunged for it, caught it just before it fell. Nice reflexes. She grinned, pushing her safety goggles up into her curly hair. Vanessa, new postdoc. You must be Gabby. Dr. Remy talks about you constantly. She does? My brilliant undergrad, the meticulous one, reminds me of myself at that age. Vanessa counted on her fingers. Should I be jealous? I didn't know if she was joking. I just do my work. When was the last time you did anything else? What do you mean? I mean, when did you last leave this building for something that wasn't class or sleep? I thought about it. Drew a blank. Vanessa grabbed my arm. Come on, coffee, now. Doctor's orders. I have to finish. The cells will still be there in an hour. You won't be if you keep this up. She dragged me to a cafe off campus, made me order something other than black coffee, asked about my research, my classes, my life. Normal friend things, things I'd forgotten how to do. So, she said, stirring her latte, what's your story? And don't say you don't have one. Everyone has one. I'm just working toward my PhD. Okay, but why? And why like this? Like you're running from something? I looked down at my cup. I'm not running. Then what do you call working 80 hours a week and never leaving the lab? Dedicated. I call it avoidance. She softened her voice. Look, I get it. I grew up in a family that didn't think women should be scientists. I worked twice as hard to prove them wrong. But at some point, you gotta stop proving and start living. I'll live after I graduate. That's what I said. Then it was after my master's, then my PhD, then my postdoc. There's always another milestone, Gabby. The question is whether you're running toward something or away from it. I didn't have an answer. But I started having coffee with her twice a week. Started going to lab social events. Started remembering that I was 20 years old and allowed to have a life outside of pipettes and publications. Meanwhile, my phone kept buzzing. Family group chat notifications I'd muted but never silenced completely. Mom, Bella just got her real estate license. Youngest in the office. Dad, that's my girl. Tia Maria. So proud. Bella, thank you. Just closed my first sale. $850K listing. Mom, 25,500 commission in one day. My brilliant businesswoman. I scrolled past without reacting. Vanessa caught me looking once. Family? Yeah. You don't talk about them much. Not much to say. She waited, giving me space to fill the silence. I didn't. Eventually, she nodded. Well, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Thanks. I never took her up on it. Some wounds were too old to explain. Senior year, May 2019. The Stanford acceptance came in March. Full PhD funding, stipend, the whole package. Dr. Remy cried when I showed her. I knew it. I knew you'd get in. I haven't accepted yet. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're accepting. She pulled me into a hug. I'm so proud of you, Mija. The word hit different coming from her. Mija, daughter. The thing my own mother never made me feel like. I called home that night. Told myself it didn't matter if they cared, but called anyway. My mother picked up on the fourth ring. Gabriella, is everything okay? Yeah, I got into Stanford, PhD program, full funding. Oh, that's good, honey. Listen, can I call you back? We're in the middle of planning Bella's graduation party. Bella's graduating high school. I'm graduating college. Right, yes, congratulations. We'll have to celebrate sometime, but right now, it's fine. Never mind. I hung up before she could say anything else. 2 weeks later, Bella's graduation photos flooded Facebook. Professional photographer, cake that must have cost $500, relatives I hadn't seen in years. The caption, "So proud of my baby girl, on to UCLA." There was one photo of me in the album. Background of a group shot, face half cut off, untagged. I deleted the Facebook app that night. The funeral, late May. Abuela Carmen died on a Tuesday. The call came from Tia Maria, not my mother. Mija, I'm sorry. It was peaceful. She went in her sleep. When's the funeral? Saturday. At St. Mary's? Will you come? I almost said no. Almost said I had too much to do, too much to finish before graduation. But Abuela had been kind to me, in her quiet way. She'd never played favorites. She'd loved both her granddaughters equally. I drove 6 hours to get home. The church smelled like incense and old wood. The family gathered in the vestibule before the rosary service. Women in black dresses, men in dark suits. I spotted my mother immediately. She stood at the center of a cluster of relatives, Bella beside her, like a shadow. Rosa saw me and froze. Just for a second. Then her face smoothed into something polite and distant. Oh, Gabriella, you came. Not I'm glad you're here. Not thank you for coming. Just, oh, you came. She was my grandmother. Of course. Rosa turned back to the relatives. Everyone, you remember Gabriella. She's in school in Berkeley. I graduated, I said quietly. Last week. Right, yes. She didn't ask what I was doing next. Didn't ask about Stanford. Just nodded and moved on. Bella approached me, wearing designer heels and perfect makeup. At 20, she looked like she'd walked out of a real estate ad. Polished, professional, successful. Gabby! Oh my God, you look so different. Are you eating enough? I'm fine. You look thin. College must be rough. She lowered her voice conspiratorially. I just closed a $1.2 million listing last week. The commission alone. But anyway, how's school? Good. That's great. She squeezed my arm. We should catch up sometime. We both knew we wouldn't. At the reception, relatives asked about my plans. Before I could answer, Rosa would interrupt. Bella just got her broker's license. Youngest in her office. I got into Stanford's PhD program. Excuse me, I need to check on the food. Father Miguel found me standing alone by the dessert table. Gabriella, it's been a long time. Hi, Father. Your abuela was very proud of you, you know. She kept every article about your research. Something in my chest cracked. She did? Oh, yes. She'd show them to anyone who'd listen. He paused. Your mother, too. She must be very proud. I looked across the room where Rosa stood, arm around Bella, laughing with relatives. Sure, I said. Very proud. I left before dessert was served. Drove straight to a motel instead of staying at the house. My mother texted once. Bella said you left. Everything okay? I typed and deleted 3 different responses before settling on. Fine, just tired. She didn't text back. The next morning, I checked out early and drove back to Berkeley. The highway stretched empty and gray, and somewhere around mile marker 200, I made a decision. I was done waiting for them to see me. I was done hoping things would change. I was done being the invisible daughter. From now on, I'd build my own family, find people who actually wanted me there, and if my mother and father and sister never noticed I was gone, well, that was their loss, not mine. Stanford felt like a different planet. At Berkeley, I'd been invisible by circumstance. At Stanford, I chose to be invisible. Head down, focused, no distractions. The PhD program was smaller, more intimate. 20 students in my cohort, Most of them already published, all of them brilliant. I fit right in. Dr. Remy had transferred to Stanford 2 years earlier, and she took me under her wing again. Same lab, better funding, she said on my first day, and I'm making you co-lead on the autoimmune project. Think you can handle it? Yes. I didn't ask if you'd try. I asked if you could handle it. I can handle it, she smiled. Good. Now meet your new lab partner. Mateo Rivera was bent over a computer when I walked in, muttering in Spanish at the screen. He had dark hair that looked like he'd been running his hands through it, glasses sliding down his nose, and the kind of focused intensity I recognized in myself. Mateo, this is Gabriela Martinez. She'll be working with you on the computational modeling. He looked up and blinked, like he'd forgotten other people existed. Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm trying to debug this code and it's... He gestured vaguely at the screen. Anyway, Gabby, right? Gabriella. I'm going to call you Gabby. Gabriella's too formal for someone I'm going to spend 16 hours a day with. He grinned. Fair warning. I talk to myself when I code, I drink too much coffee, and I have strong opinions about data visualization. I can work with that. Great. Can you start now? I need someone to check my math on this protein folding simulation. Dr. Remy left us to it. By hour 3, I'd found 2 errors in his code. By hour 6, we'd redesigned the entire experiment. By hour 10, we'd ordered Thai food and were arguing about whether Python or R was better for statistical analysis. You're wrong, I said, stealing one of his spring rolls. I'm objectively correct. Python has better machine learning libraries, but R was literally designed for statistical computing. Okay, but scalability. Dr. Remy found us at midnight, still arguing, whiteboards covered in equations. Go home, she said. Both of you. This is exactly the kind of obsessive behavior I'm trying to prevent. Mateo stretched, joints popping. 5 more minutes. Now. We packed up. In the parking lot, Mateo turned to me. Coffee tomorrow? We should go over the imaging protocols before we start the next phase. Sure. Great. It's a date. He caught himself. I mean, not a date, a work date, a colleague date. I'm going to stop talking now. I almost smiled. See you tomorrow, Mateo. Fall 2019. Early days. Mateo asked me to coffee 14 times before I realized he meant it as more than work. You know, Vanessa said when I told her about it, most people can tell when someone's interested in them. He's interested in the research. Oh, honey. No. She pulled up his Instagram, showed me a photo of him at a concert, surrounded by friends, laughing. This is a man who has a life outside the lab. He's choosing to spend time with you. We work together. You eat lunch together. You stay late together. He walks you to your car. Gabby, he bought you your specific brand of tea, even though he drinks coffee. I thought about the box of Earl Grey that had appeared in the lab kitchen last week. That was just... nice. Exactly. He's being nice. To you, specifically. She squeezed my shoulder. Maybe let someone be nice to you for once. 10. The 15th time Mateo asked me to coffee, I said yes. Not to work, just to talk. We went to a cafe off campus, sat by the window, and for the first time in years, I had a conversation that wasn't about science or survival. So, he said, doctoring his coffee with an alarming amount of sugar. Tell me something true about yourself that I don't know from your CV. That's a weird question. I'm a weird person. Come on, something real. I stirred my tea, watching the leaves swirl. I'm not good at this. At what? This. People. Talking about things that aren't work. I looked up. I don't really have friends. You have Vanessa. I have Vanessa because she forced herself into my life and wouldn't leave. He laughed. Okay, that tracks. So you're telling me you're emotionally closed off and terrible at relationships? Basically? Cool. Me too. He leaned back. My family's great. Loud, loving, all up in each other's business. But I've always been the weird one who'd rather build models than go to parties. My mom's convinced I'm going to die alone surrounded by computers. Are you? Maybe. But at least the computers appreciate me. He grinned. Your turn. Family? The question landed like a stone in my chest. We don't talk much. Much or at all? At all. He waited, didn't push. Finally, I said, they have a daughter they love. I'm just the other one. That's fucked up. Yeah. Well, he raised his coffee cup. Here's to being the weird ones our families don't know what to do with. I clinked my tea against his mug. To being weird. Spring 2020. The pandemic, COVID-19, shut down the lab in March. One day we were running experiments. The next we were being sent home indefinitely. Essential personnel only. Research frozen. Graduation ceremonies canceled. I lasted 3 days alone in my apartment before the walls started closing in. Mateo video called me every morning at 9. Wellness check, he'd say. Did you eat? Did you sleep? Did you remember you're human? I'm fine. You're wearing the same shirt as yesterday. It's comfortable. Gabby, I'm fine. I wasn't fine. By week 2, I was barely sleeping. By week 3, I was having panic attacks in the bathroom at 3 a.m., convinced I'd never finish my degree, never amount to anything. Never escape the feeling that I was fundamentally unworthy of love or success or basic human connection. Mateo figured it out when I accidentally left my camera on during a panic attack. Gabby, hey, look at me. Can you look at me? I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. Okay, I need you to breathe with me. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Can you do that? He counted steady and calm until my breathing slowed, until I could see straight again. You okay? I'm sorry. Don't apologize. This shit is hard. Being alone is hard. It's okay to not be okay. I'm supposed to be strong. Fuck that. You're supposed to be human. He ran a hand through his hair. Listen, I know we're supposed to social distance, but I'm going to break that rule. I'm coming over. I'll stand on your porch. We'll talk through the door, whatever. But you're not doing this alone. Mateo, nope, address, now. He showed up an hour later with groceries, face mask, hand sanitizer, left the bags on my porch, stepped back 6 feet, and talked to me through the screen door for 3 hours. We did that every day for a month. By April, we'd upgraded to sitting in my backyard, 6 feet apart. By May, we'd admitted we were both vaccinated and dropped the pretense. By June, we were officially dating, though neither of us remembered exactly when we'd made that transition. Is this okay? He asked one night, his hand in mine. Yeah, I said. This is okay. For the first time in my life, someone chose me. Not because I was useful or smart or accomplished. Just because I was me. It felt like flying. TID, 2021-2022. Breakthroughs. The lab reopened. Our research exploded. By fall 2021, we'd made a major breakthrough in targeted drug delivery, a method that could revolutionize treatment for rare autoimmune diseases. This is Nature Medicine material, Dr. Remy said, reading over our results. Maybe even Nature. We submitted in December, accepted in February, published in April. My phone exploded with congratulations from colleagues, professors, researchers I'd never met. Stanford put out a press release. The dean's office called to schedule a photo op. The family group chat stayed silent. Mateo found me in the lab that night, staring at my phone. Hey, you okay? Published in Nature Medicine. It's one of the biggest achievements of my life. I set the phone down. My mother hasn't called. He sat beside me. Have you told them? Stanford sent a press release. It was in the news. They know. Maybe they don't know what it means. Or maybe they don't care. He put his arm around me. Their loss. I'm proud of you. Dr. Remy's proud of you. Hell, the entire scientific community is proud of you. I know. It should be enough. But it's not. But it's not. Che. May 2022. PhD defense. I defended my dissertation on a Tuesday in May. The committee asked tough questions. I had answers for all of them. Congratulations, Dr. Martinez, the committee chair said. Your dissertation is accepted with distinction. Dr. Remy hugged me, crying. I'm so proud of you, Mija. Vanessa flew in from Boston. Mateo brought flowers. His parents video called to congratulate me. His mother, Teresa, insisting I call her Tia now. His father offering to take us all out to dinner. In the audience, there was an empty row where my family could have sat. I tried not to look at it. That night at the celebration dinner, Dr. Remy gave me a gift. A delicate silver necklace with a small compass pendant. So you always know which direction you're going, she said, even when the path isn't clear. I cried in the restaurant bathroom for 10 minutes. When I came back, Mateo took my hand. You okay? Yeah, I never thought I'd have this. People who actually care. Get used to it. We're not going anywhere. Techo. Summer 2022. The decision, the job offers came in. Biotech companies, research institutions, universities. All of them good. All of them safe. The best offer was from Gen Farm, senior scientist position, $180,000 salary, full benefits, relocation assistance. That's a great offer, Dr. Remy said. I know, but Mateo and I have been talking about starting our own company. She set down her coffee. Tell me more. Our drug delivery platform. It's got applications beyond autoimmune diseases. We could license it, sell it, or build a company around it ourselves. I pulled out a folder, handed it to her. We've been working on a business plan. Dr. Remy read through it, nodding. This is solid. Ambitious, but solid. The smart thing is to take the Gen Farm job. Steady salary, no risk. Since when do you take the smart thing? I'm trying to be practical. Gabriella, she looked at me over her reading glasses. You didn't get here by being practical. You got here by being brilliant and stubborn and refusing to quit. Don't start playing it safe now. What if I fail? Then you fail, and you try again. But if you don't try at all, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what if. In August 2022, Mateo and I incorporated BioNova Therapeutics. Him as CTO, me as CEO and Chief Scientific Officer. We raised $500,000 in seed funding, hired 3 researchers, and rented a small lab space in Palo Alto. My mother still hadn't called. I told myself I didn't care. I was getting better at lying to myself. Chit, fall 2022. The grind startup life was brutal. 80-hour weeks, constant fundraising, endless pivots. I fell back into old habits, working until I couldn't see straight, skipping meals, running on coffee and stubbornness. Mateo noticed. Gabby, when's the last time you went home before midnight? I need to finish this grant application. It can wait. He closed my laptop. Talk to me. What's going on? Nothing. I'm just working. You're not working. You're proving something. He turned my chair to face him. To who? The investors? Or your family? I froze. They haven't called, I whispered. Published in Nature, started a company, and they haven't called. So you're going to work yourself to death to prove your worth to people who'll never see it? His voice was gentle but firm. Gabby, I love you, but you can't live your life trying to earn love from people who've already decided not to give it. Then what am I supposed to do? Live for you. Live for us. Live for the people who actually see you. It was the first time he'd said I love you. I kissed him instead of answering. Some things are too big for words. December 2022, twist number 3, Forbes. The Forbes reporter was young, enthusiastic, and asked questions I wasn't prepared for. What inspired you to start BioNova? The science, the potential to help patients with rare diseases. But on a personal level, what drives you? I thought about lying, gave the truth instead. I grew up thinking I was invisible. My family never really saw me, never supported my dreams. So I built a company that focuses on invisible patients, people with rare diseases no one talks about. I smiled. Maybe we find each other. The article published 2 weeks later. The Invisible Daughter Who Built a Biotech Empire. It hit the internet at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. By 8 a.m., my phone had exploded. 47 missed calls, 89 text messages. The family group chat, still muted, showing 200 plus new messages. I opened it with shaking hands. Mom, 8:05 a.m. Gabriella, is this you in Forbes? Bella, 8:12 a.m. OMG, Gabby, you didn't tell us you had a company. Dad, 8:20 a.m. Very impressive, Hija. Mom, 8:25 a.m. We always knew you'd make us proud. Bella, 8:30 a.m. Can I post this? My sister is in Forbes. Mom, 8:45 a.m. Call me when you can. We should celebrate. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. We always knew. They never knew. They never even asked. Mateo found me on the couch, phone in my lap, tears streaming silently down my face. Baby, what's wrong? I showed him the messages. He read them, jaw tightening. They didn't call when you graduated. They didn't call when you got published. They didn't call when you started a company. But now I'm worth something. He pulled me close. You were always worth something. They were just too blind to see it. I deleted every message without responding. By Monday morning, my mother had posted the Forbes article on Facebook with the caption, "So proud of both my daughters." Photo, Rosa and Bella holding the magazine, beaming at the camera. Bella posted too. "My big sister, everyone. Biotech genius. Hashtag proud sister, hashtag women in STEM." The comments poured in. "You never mentioned your sister before?" Bella's reply, "We're a private family," Vanessa called. "Girl, your mom tagged me in 15 posts." "Block her." "Already did." "But Gabby, they're rewriting history." "Let them. I know the truth." But late that night, alone in bed while Mateo slept beside me, I read through the posts, watched my mother craft a narrative where she'd always been supportive, always been proud, always been there. The invisible daughter had become visible, and somehow that made everything worse.